It's too late now. We missed it.
Oh,
We missed it.
Oh, I mean, it's been a while.
Welcome to ParkTalk with Alicia and Naynay. My name's Alicia, and joining me, of course, is Naynay.
Hi. Long time no talk.
Yeah, that works. I think the last time we talked about Disneyland, and we're back to talk more about Disneyland.
Well, yes.
So we talked about, and we talked about the Epic Universe tickets last time, too.
Oh, yes. Wait, wasn't the last time we were together, wasn't it with Ian on the other show? Or
Yeah,
no,
we did. We talked about Halloween Horror Nights. That's because that was the last time I saw you.
Yes. Oh, it's been too long.
And the next time we'll see each other will be, at the PizzeRizzo Prom in February?
Can you believe I'm flying in for that? Like, that is...
No, I mean, yes, you have to. This literally is the first and last chance to ever have a prom at PizzeRizzo, so...
It's so funny because Carly Wiesel, for those of you who know Carly Wiesel, amazing theme park journalist, we had been like snickering for a while, like, let's go back to Florida because it's always so fun when we go. We were just like waiting for a stupid excuse to fly to Florida. Like, let's just be honest. And
Any flimsy excuse, apparently.
And so she sent me, she's like, Muppet Prom? And I was like, well, yes. And then a week later, I had all my stuff booked. She had all her stuff booked. And it's going to be a family vacation. I can't wait.
When is it? Saturday, February 8th or something?
Yes. And I, of course, in true Naynay fashion, already have my garments. I tried everything on. Everything fits. It's so good. It's so fun. I don't know. I feel, obviously, it's a prom, right? We have to dress to the theme. But also I don't do Dapper Day or anything like that. So I've never been to like a theme park with like cute prom clothes. Yeah. You know?
What's funny is that what you were describing, the type of style you were going to wear, I was like, I was going in the wrong direction. I was thinking evening gown, like the most like serious dress that I could possibly muster up, like dragging through Hollywood studios with my hair done right and everything. And you're like, what were you like retro 80s style?
Well,
like
yeah,
prom?
well, I mean, I really just want like a Napoleon Dynamite vibe, like a very campy, colorful, like 80s prom. Lots of ruffles, bright colors.
I want? Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion with like the fuzzy neck.
No, that's
and the
hot.
Big puffy shoulders. Yeah,
that's
what I'm
so
gonna go
hot.
For.
Oh, I can't wait. The only thing I need to do right now is I feel like I need to tie in some sort of like Muppets-isms somewhere on me, if that makes sense.
I know someone I was thinking of getting custom earrings. Originally I was going to do pizza slices, but I'm like, can I get a little rat on top of the pizza slice?
Oh my God.
Because those are earrings I will wear forever if I can get that done.
Oh my God. I was like, okay, maybe I should make a little fake like boutonniere and like a little corsage for Carly. So Carly and I are going to match. We're going as dates as a very straight couple. And I was like, maybe I can get us like a little like brooch or like a little pin. Like, I don't know, maybe like a Kermit and Piggy sort of like gender bend where like I have Piggy, she has Kermit. That'll be fun. But then
I was thinking,
like, wait.
A pizza purse. I need to get a purse shaped like pizza.
And I was like, wait, we should do pizza. I don't know how we're going to like take over that entire room, but we will. It's going to be so good.
The Deluxe Supreme Banquet Hall can hold unlimited people if we try hard enough. We got that dance floor in there. We'll push all the tables to the side if we need to do it.
And I'm going to try the veggie pizza for the first time because
you can't.
Why?
It's gone.
It's gone? What do you mean?
It's gone. If they replaced it with a mushroom pizza.
Wait, I love mushroom pizza, but wait, I'm shocked.
Yeah, just a few months ago, which is like bad timing because they're going to close eventually. They made a bespoke mushroom pizza, which has an ingredient that is not available anywhere else on the menu, and took away the veggie pizza, which uses the same sauteed veggies from the sausage sandwich, which is like the weirdest thing. Like, why would you replace something and then make it more expensive to have to order other ingredients? But it is good. It's a lot of like thinly sliced fresh mushrooms on top. So I just miss my veggie pizza with the onions and the peppers.
Are the mushrooms still do they still saute the veggies, the mushrooms?
Yeah, they saute
go
the mushrooms.
Pizza?
Yeah, so they're yummy.
Okay.
But the nothing beats the finely chopped. I actually went and I don't want to say complained, but whined like a puppy dog And the manager's like, we will take the topping from the sausage sandwich and put it onto the pizza and make you a veggie pizza one last time. And I'm like, thank you so much. She's like, but don't ever
Damn.
ask again.
Oh my gosh.
So I got to say, because it just happened so suddenly, I didn't get to say goodbye to it.
I remember.
Welcome to the PizzeRizzo podcast.
I remember the first time we went, you got it, and I was like, ew, I'm not getting a veggie pizza. And then we got our food, and I was like, wait, yours looks better than mine.
It was the best thing on the menu. Like, they could tear the whole thing down now for all I care. How dare they? How dare they?
Not the soggy salad in a cup. That's where it's at for me.
That's a refreshing like aperitif. That's that's just a wet your whistle with a very wet salad.
Ew, I can't.
Before we started the show, we were going to say, besides Disneyland, Disneyland's 70th, which is another introing, is what we were supposed to talk about.
Yes.
I did want to bring up I made a video. I put out an article about Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit has permits for its demolition and replacement with a new attraction. And the next day, Universal Orlando Resort confirmed the story and said that Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit will be closing September of this year, 2025. And it got me thinking that for no reason whatsoever, totally segueing into another topic, but how's construction on the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift going over there in Hollywood?
It is moving. I feel like the exciting thing that I got to see probably a couple days ago was that the main station show building is getting, I call them like the purple walls, but what are they? They're like the insulation walls.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
weatherproofing.
Yes, the weatherproofing. And it's great because, I think anyone in construction anywhere knows that, like, basically right after that is when we get actual real walls. So the station itself is moving along. There's parts of the track that are very far along, and then there's parts of the track that have not been touched at all. Going more towards the back end, like going down the escalators to the farish end of the attraction, it feels like nothing has been really touched. Like it seems like they're still assembling the support beams. But then when it comes to the beginning of the attraction, there's a lot that's done. And I think right now it's interesting because if you look out, you can really kind of see the brake runs or, like where the attraction ends, where the attraction starts. Yeah. And the track layout, I've been trying to like sit there and sort of like imagine in my head what it's going to be like. It seems very interesting. I mean, there has to be a launch straight out of the station because I don't know how it's going to climb.
And then another one
what it
after
needs to climb.
Starway, I think. So like a launch into the over, you have to go like, does it go over the escalator and then it goes into another launch? I think you can see a pretty good, like the overhead from the permits on parkfans.net. They posted the permits. So you could see what the track layout is, but it's hard to imagine when you're actually standing on the ground, I imagine.
It just seems weird because, okay, so Velocicoaster has a launch, basically straight out of the station, but still I feel like there's a lot of room. Like you have to turn a corner and then there's kind of like a build-up area where the Velociraptors are kind of, the screens are to the sides. It doesn't feel like we have any build-up. I'm like, wait, is this thing just going to launch like straight out of the station? There's no space. It just starts immediately.
Yeah.
So,
can you imagine you're just on the first launch and Dom's like, ride or die, and then just music. That's it. There is no like pacing to this. It is just fast.
Yeah. I'm excited. We saw the photo of the ride vehicles not that long ago, right?
What's crazy is that was at a presentation, and it was posted to like LinkedIn and then shared around. The original post got removed and edited, so that photo is actually missing. So I wonder if Universal's like, that was for this room only, and they weren't supposed to like share it publicly. But we did see the ride vehicles are awesome, realistic looking cars, and they're all different cars in a row. Was it like 5 cars in a row?
Yeah, but the capacity is so scary.
Well, it's like 4 people per car,
and there's 4
5
of them.
Cars. Oh, was there 4?
Was there 4 or 5? I feel like
maybe
there was
it's only 4. It might only be 4.
I could be wrong, but
this is not an informational podcast. We are just chatting. This is just Park Talk. We are talking about things we vaguely remember that have been removed from the internet. Did you see the little 5-second clip from an internal team member email that was also taken down very quickly? Oh, well,
No.
I can't share it to you because it's been completely taken off the internet because no one was
What
supposed to
was it?
share it yet. It literally says for internal use only or something on the screen. It was like, it looked like an Amusement Insider, like, recreation and no limits of the ride, just
Hmm.
going and like rotating the ride vehicles, but you could see the cars, the colorful different cars. So there's a POV like video somewhere out there in Universal's hands that they should release for marketing purposes, but we still got a year before this thing opens. So they got time.
And that's another thing. I've mentioned this before, and I don't understand. How is it that you can build Velocicoaster
Well,
so
you just explained
quickly?
it. You just explained it. They haven't really started. They're still working on supports on that one side. Going by the permits and then the reissued permits, I would say that ground was not as strong and sturdy as they were expecting, and they had to reinforce inside the hillside a lot. So I
I
think
get
that
it.
adds a lot of time to the build time, and they still have to build supports and the shields for sound, the big sound shields. So like they have a second set of
Right,
supports to go in
right,
on top of the
right.
coaster.
Oh, I forgot
So
about
we
those.
once we're done with the coaster, we still have a whole nother set of things to build with the 3 giant sound shields and the 100-foot sound wall, supposedly, which I don't know when that's starting. So like there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah. So they said 2026.
Yes, next year. We
And I
can say
feel like
next year now.
you're right. And I feel like I'm predicting a summer 2026.
Well, if they were going to open in 2025 and they're delayed, I'm hoping they were only delayed like 6 months or whatever. Maybe they're softing as soon as December of this year, and they're opening like they did with Nintendo, like they're opening early 2026. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's moving along, and it's still, exciting. It's still in the exciting part of construction where every time you go, even if you go on a weekly basis, you're gonna see something new, which I love. That's like my favorite phase of theme park, construction, where like they're that far along ahead where it starts to get very exciting.
Hmm.
Um, so I'll keep my eye on it, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's moving along for
I mean,
sure.
if we got something like that here in Orlando, I wouldn't be upset, especially since hopefully that means Supercharged can close. But I think it's a really neat looking attraction with the like Hagrid's, like doing something unique where
Mm.
the coaster cars are cars. I think is pretty cool.
And so segueing into that, so are you guys getting one?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just hinting that maybe maybe it's possible. Move on, move on, move on, move on, move on. All I'll say is
me probing.
all I'll say is that like I said, I wonder if people are going to start thinking it's Ghostbusters because they're building the queue behind the Ghostbusters firehouse. But like that doesn't mean I think it will be. I just think people are going to speculate that they think or hope that it is, because an Ecto One drifting coaster would be really cool. But I don't foresee that happening.
I
So
f-
the only other
y-
thing I could think is a clone of your coaster, because Hollywood doesn't get anything special without us ripping it off.
except for Secret Life of Pets, but I mean, whatever.
Hey, I want that ride. I want that ride so bad. You also have Jurassic World, the ride. So
Right,
like
right,
enjoy
that
that.
one.
We have
Right.
Velocicoaster. This is supposed to be your Velocicoaster, and then we go and steal it too.
I don't know if, I mean, obviously they do it with Potter, but I'm like, I don't know if Universal would build like an attraction right now based off of something licensed like Ghostbusters. I feel like they'd much rather do
Well, they
something in their
just
own
got the rights
wheelhouse.
back for theme parks. And there's rumors they're
Right.
going to build Pokemon, which is not Nintendo. It's a separate
Okay,
company.
right,
So
right, right, right. All
they're
right.
building licensed attractions left and right. This isn't. And you know what's funny is we talk about Disney and how they're like getting rid of all their licensed IP attractions.
Yes.
And the last
Yes.
two were Tower of Terror, Twilight Zone, and Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster right across from each other. Those were the last two, and they're replacing one with the Muppets. So it's an in-house property. So all that's left is Twilight Zone. And here they go announcing they're bringing Bluey into the parks, and I'm like, well, there it goes. They just brought out outside IP in because they don't technically own Bluey. They just distribute it on TV here in the United States.
Mm,
They have no rights whatsoever to those merchandise rights, and I bet it kills them because that is a huge moneymaker. But
for
it's
sure.
an Australian company, and I think BBC. So
Yeah, so
yeah, that's funny that Disney is bringing those into the parks and cruise lines.
Bluey is coming to Disney Cruise Line first as early as
Mhm.
January, right? Like now?
That's now. What are you talking
That's
about? That's
now.
crazy.
That's now. And then the parks at a later date, which
Well,
as
they did announce the cruise line's getting meet and greets, right?
yes.
That's all that we know is actually happening is
Well,
meet and
I
greets.
think
And then they said the parks later, but they didn't say what was coming to the parks.
meet and greet. I'm almost positive it's just the whole announcement was just meet and greets, and then it's going to be Disney Cruise Line first, and then Disney World and Disneyland.
Maybe I'm reading into it, but I don't remember them saying what was coming to the parks. Maybe I was hopefully reading into it. Not hold on. Where's Scott Gustin? Scott Gustin, save us from the
Get our
not
Scott.
knowing things. I want the exact wording that. No, not the film. Oh, I'm so excited for the movie. That's going to be Haley's first movie in theaters. Here we go. Bluey's finally coming to Walt Disney World, Disneyland Resort, and Disney Cruise Line. Starting in January, Bluey and Bingo will join Disney Cruise Line voyages originating from Australia. Oh, just the Australian ones. More details about Bluey and Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort will be shared at a later date. It doesn't even say meet and greets there.
Oh,
It
so
just says they'll be joining cruise goers.
what
See,
does that
we're
mean?
reading into it that we must assume that would be meet and greet. I'm
Oh
going to
my
search the official
God.
press release
Stop.
for the word meet. From special meet and greets to an interactive and clue-filled game that ends in a dance party featuring Bluey's signature moves, families in the region can embark on a magical holiday with their favorite Blue healer.
Oh, it's Disney Junior.
You gotta capitalize healer there, Disney.
It's Disney Junior, right? This is Disney Junior Dance Party.
Well, it's an interactive clue-filled ship game and meet and greet, and yes, Disney. It's a dance party. See, that's more than meet and greets, and that's just the cruise. Okay, you're right. Details about how guests can meet Bluey and her family at Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World will be shared in the months ahead. Okay, so all we're getting is meet and greets, and now I'm sad.
I mean, they were in D23, right?
Yeah, that's how we knew this was happening. Like, that was
Right.
the first sign. Like, this is definitely coming to the parks. Look here, they are meet and greeting at a Disney event. That was definitely a pilot test. And it sounds like the cruise line's going to get more than we will, unless they incorporate it into Disney Junior's dance party thing, which is possible.
Cool. Okay. I mean, you're a Bluey stan.
Oh my
Alicia,
God, yes.
Stella, and Bluey, they're tight.
I've been making jokes lately. That's the reason I had a kid. Because Bluey's like, you watch it, you get sentimental, and you're like, I wish I had a daughter. It's millennials. It's convincing all of us, to go have kids. I said on a premium podcast the other day we just recorded that Animation Courtyard, like, it's been rumored for Zootopia, it's been rumored for Simpsons, and I'm like, turn it into Bluey. Make the whole area Bluey. Give Bluey a show, give Bluey a dark ride, give Bluey a big store, make a little like street out front, make the cul-de-sac with the house up on the hill, like do the whole thing, do it right. So reading that it's just a meet and greet has broken my heart.
I'm scared that it would look like, what's that one park you guys have in Florida? Like Peppa Pig World?
Okay, but that's a bonus theme park built in the parking lot for Legoland. That's different than one section of pre-existing. Like if we put the Monstropolis level, Galaxy's Edge level building into a Bluey Land, I think it would be pretty darn cool.
I haven't watched Bluey enough. I need to start doing my research.
They're only 8 minutes long. It's an easy watch.
Oh, good.
You get
Perfect
through
for
all
my
three
fried
seasons.
My fried attention span would love that.
If that's too long for you, they have short ones that are 2 minutes and less.
Oh, God.
You can watch the minis.
Okay. So any other housekeeping before we get into the 70th?
Now that we're halfway through the episode. Disneyland 70th anniversary, happiest place on earth. Is it weird
Yes.
that I hear 70th and I think that's not that big? They ruined themselves by doing so many 100 things. Mickey Mouse is 100 years old. Walt Disney World has been around for 100 years. We've made 100 animated films. I'm like, keep seeing these 100. And then when you get to Disneyland 70, I'm like, that's not that impressive.
Womp, womp, womp.
70.
It seems like the entire campaign is centered around the word happy. The word happy is everywhere. And it's so interesting. I mean, obviously it is. Well, what are you guys? We're the happiest place on earth. And what are you guys?
You are the happiest place on earth. We're the most magical place on earth.
The most magical place. Yeah. So
yeah,
it says celebrate happy. Celebrate happy is the theme of Disneyland Resort's 70th celebration. And
It's
then
about
all of
time that dwarf gets his day. Dopey's taking all of the spotlight all these years, and now finally Happy, one of the 7 dwarfs.
Oh my gosh.
Do not indulge in my stupid comedy.
Wait, what do you think about Mickey and Minnie's new outfits?
Oh, hold on. Let me go refresh my memory on this
I need
because I
you to
did see it.
see.
Okay. I'm weirded out by early 90s culture being reintegrated into the world again because I was there at the forefront of early 90s culture. And it's like, my culture is not your costume. Like, this is how I dressed going to middle school, and it's weirding me out to see it. Is it supposed to be 90s style? The Mickey Mouse looks like he's wearing that Solo cup design. Like, what is going on?
The jazz cup design.
And why is one tail of the jacket longer than the other? What is happening here?
I hate asymmetry.
Minnie looks amazing, though.
Minnie looks amazing.
The colors are great.
I think we can lose the little jacket on Minnie. We can lose that. Like, let Minnie be sexy. Let her show a little shoulder. I'm like tired of this. I'm like, what? First they cover Jessica in Roger Rabbit. And now none of the girls can live. Like, she needs air.
It's weird to see the cropped sleeves on and like see some of her like elbow, almost like not her elbow, but like her forearm, like her actual skin tone coming through on an arm. Like, you never see that.
I know,
through a jacket. I mean,
I will say the skirt.
That's what we wore in the 90s.
I'm just glad the skirt is short enough because sometimes they be giving her. I mean, she's a little girl. She's like a baby, right? She's like a 4 foot. How tall is Minnie?
4'9". I don't know.
Something. I don't know. But the skirt is short enough. She's giving a little thigh. Thank goodness. I don't know if I like the bow strap, and I think I don't like asymmetry. So, like, let's move the bow in the middle.
No, I don't mind. I like that because her bows are always in the middle. I like it being this. This feels like late 80s, like you mentioned Napoleon Dynamite, like the asymmetry in 1989, 1990, 1991. That was totally the thing. So
it's giving totally Minnie.
Wore overalls with one strap down in 1990.
Hot.
That was the thing.
Gorge.
So like you would put one strap down. It was so I'm okay with the asymmetry. It's within. I was there. I remember.
I was there. Representation matters. Representation matters.
Accuracy.
But
the colors are great. This is good.
The colors are fabulous. Behind them, you can see the castle's going to be very lightly decorated. They're not really going to do much.
It's almost like they don't want to ruin it. They've learned their lesson.
They really have. Yeah, with the 60th, they destroyed all the shingles for so long.
Nothing on the roofs here. Yeah, no, it's nice. It's classy. It's only 70th. It's not like we're doing the 100 here. For 100, they need to like completely rebuild the castle bigger.
They do. in one of the new promos, which it caused so much discourse online. Did you see how they were using like Magic Kingdom's footage or layout, and they tried to like morph it in? But in that,
I don't understand. It's like we already have this like pull out overhead CG render, and we'll just like jam in the wrong castle and reuse it.
It was weird. It was so weird. But anyway, in that video,
small company, they can't afford to make new stuff.
In that video, we also saw a peek at some Main Street decorations for a second. Obviously, they were like CG'd in, but it seems like Main Street's definitely going to get some decorations as well on all the lampposts. So it should be interesting. But yeah, as far as the aesthetic goes, I like the logo. I like the colors.
Yeah, no, I love the colors. Obviously, I'm looking at the girl in the shirt. The girl in the shirt at the very bottom of the like sweater look. You can see the shoes for Mickey and Minnie with like Mickey's big yellow with colorful shoelaces. You see that? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking at the Parks blog?
I'm on the Parks blog. Yeah, the very last picture is someone wearing...
Let me get in this.
You got to see this. I want to see the full costume. It really ties it together.
Oh, I love that.
I need to see the big shoes.
I don't think the shoes were ready. That's why they didn't shoot them.
They cropped out the feet.
Oh
So
my
what is
gosh.
happening? Like,
Okay.
are you all like? I know you all are getting new rides, but like that's not part of this.
We're not getting new rides, are we?
Oh no, yeah. Over the next 28 years, you're going
Oh.
to be getting Avatar and Coco,
Oh God,
and
no.
yeah.
No, no, no. Okay, so I guess we'll go down the list. I'm saving best for last. But
Okay.
okay, okay, so Paint the Night is coming back, which is exciting. Obviously, we've known that Paint the Night was coming back in some capacity because I mean, they've been working on all the costumes and floats for like months and months
Hmm.
now, just randomly. And I mean, we don't store the floats at Disneyland. We do have a warehouse. So there's only enough room for however many parade floats. So as soon as you see an old parade float come back in, you're like, oh, it's coming back. Oh, it's coming back.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm hearing that we're gonna get a new float or a new unit, and we're losing the Incredibles float.
Oh,
Um
interesting.
that's the buzz around, and
What's the
everyone
new
got
one?
their oh, I
Because
don't
like it
know
mentions
if
Monsters Inc., Cars, Toy Story, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and more. So I'm curious.
yeah, I don't know. I can't
Is it
remember if they
Encanto?
said I can't remember if they said Frozen and Incredibles is not coming back, or was it just Incredibles? But
Interesting.
some of them are not coming back, and I think we're getting a new unit. But I don't think it's like it's a big thing. I don't think that it's like I think it's going to be something small. Like maybe they'll use an old float and throw some LEDs on it. They've done that before. They used like the old
Mm,
Pixar Play
it's just a
Parade.
space filler then. That's not that exciting.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see. But everyone who is in the show has already received their emails, and
Nice.
rehearsals start in February, which is very exciting. And I'm just so pumped to just have it back, you know. But I would say that it's interesting that with the new era of Disney or Disneyland, we're not doing double parades anymore. Like if we're going to have a nighttime parade, that means that we're not going to have a daytime parade, which is kind of sad and a little interesting. So they did confirm that Magic Happens is not coming back this year.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that. Like that barely got a run, right?
It barely got a run. It's not coming back this year. And if we're going to get a nighttime parade, then what they're going to do during the daytime is some sort of cavalcade, which they
Yeah.
did announce um in this little press release that there is going to be a new Mickey and Friends Celebrate Happy 70th anniversary cavalcade.
Again, that dwarf getting his day in the sun.
Which you know how they do the cavalcades, which is so interesting, and it's such a cost-effective way to do it. And I don't think that this is what they do when they do your Magic Kingdom little cavalcades. But at Disneyland, when we have a daytime cavalcade, all they do is they go inside of every single land. They get all the regular day meet and greet characters and they cut their set. So there's basically no characters in the park in the middle of the day. They swarm, they
Oh.
grab all the characters from every land and they throw them in a cavalcade and then they just march down the street. And then once the cavalcade's over, all the characters disperse back into their land. So Pocahontas goes back to Frontierland.
I feel like
The
that's more magical. That's more real. You know, like they really
yeah,
live in this world and they're just like, hey, come on, let's go do our parade. Like, versus having like multiples of the same characters somehow magically existing at the same time.
right. It definitely helps with continuity because I mean, if you met, you know, whoever, let's just say Pocahontas, you know, you're going to get that same Pocahontas in that parade. You're like, "Oh my gosh, I get to see her
Yeah,
again and she's in the parade." So,
that's
that's what they've
awesome.
been doing and that's what they're going to do for this. I think they're just going to like redecorate one of their filler floats to have 70th decorations and then Paint the Night is going to be the main entertainment along with
And
one
Disney Frozen is still listed. They updated the Paint the Night page, and it does say Frozen.
okay.
With Elsa, Olaf, and friends waving from a glimmering ice castle. So I'm assuming that's staying.
Perfect. Perfect. So yeah, and then Wondrous Journeys, which we've already had before, but you know, that's fine, I guess. I don't know. I don't
Is
know. But
that a projection show?
it's a fireworks show, and it was the one that was done for the 100th, where I think was it the one that was done for the 100th? Yeah, where they have every single animated movie represented.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah, no, I've seen that. I mean,
Which
on
the
a YouTube
music is
video, of
good.
course.
Right, because you refused to come and visit me.
Right, exactly. and you'll come here for a rap party.
On the DCA side, we have World of Color Happiness. There's a lot of happy happening.
I think you mentioned that.
There's a lot of happy.
This is technically a new World of Color show.
It's technically
Is it
a new
Pixar?
World of Color show. It looks like so much Pixar, but then in the back, there's like...
Oh, yeah, no, I see
there's
a
Powerline.
Goofy movie. Yeah, Powerline's sitting there. I see Elsa. That's it. No, Ursula and Scar.
Ursula and Scar. And then everything else is Pixar.
And Tangled? And Wish. No, those are... It's weird that I think they just put all of the highest grossing animated film of all time, Inside Out 2, up in front. And then everything else is behind them.
I mean, if your entire theme is based on an emotion, then you know they're going to run that into the ground.
Yeah. See, they should have called it Joy. Disneyland Resort's 70th anniversary, the celebration of joy. And she could have been like the icon. Because I am not even seeing Happy the Dwarf anywhere in this promotional artwork. I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
You're stupid.
Turning Red, though, getting recognized in a nighttime show is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And they've been really playing with Turning Red, which has its own unit in the Better Together parade, or Pixar Celebration, which is also coming back for the 70th, which is fun.
Okay. Got some good entertainment. Better Together, a Pixar Pals Celebration parade. Turning Red, Luca up. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. But
is that
the main? No.
Oh.
The most anticipated, My Honey, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln Theater is coming back.
That's right.
With this Walt Disney show, which I am very intrigued by. I'm assuming, I think I read somewhere that this is going to be the case, but have you watched videos of our Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln?
Yes.
It's what it is it's basically a video. Like the show is a video, and then the show ends with the screen lifting, and then you get like a couple minutes of Lincoln talking. So it's not it's not a front to back animatronic show. It's a video show, very informative, and then it's sort of the grand finale.
That's how Hall of Presidents is too. It's like, here's the history of our nation, and then there's like, here's 5 minutes with the presidents.
Exactly. And I think that this Walt Disney show is going to be the exact same.
Oh, so like a schmaltzy, sentimental history of Walt building his empire, and then it lifts up and Walt's like, welcome to my office, and he flicks a cigarette, he munches on a chili dog, and but he will lean, he's leaning instead of sitting like Lincoln, he's leaning, and he's going to stand forward and address us and talk to us with a glimmer in his eye due to the lighting. When does this start?
May 16th, and I will be there front and center. Oh, okay.
Is this going to overshadow Epic Universe News opening? Is this
maybe Alicia Sella.
It's the week before. We have time to calm down after. My question is, not to cut you off, because I do want to hear what you have to think about this show. Do you think are they gonna do just this show? We talked about this before for a little while, or are they alternating from the start with Mr. Lincoln?
No. I think that this is going to be the main headliner for the 70th, and then after the 70th is over, that's when they're going to rotate through the turntable.
Okay.
But my most curious thing, very curious. So I have a very specific spot that I like to sit in that theater, and because I'm in love with Abraham Lincoln, he's like the love of my life. And so I like to have a very intimate moment where like I can sit in the front, but there's this one particular seat where if you sit in it, he makes direct eye contact with you 4 times.
Nice.
4 times, and it's fabulous. And so now I'm kind of panicking because I'm going to need to like find my seat with this new animatronic. I don't know where I'm supposed to sit.
I feel like the Disneyland Imagineers are that nerdy and into it the way that we are, that they probably made sure that same seat gets some winks and nods from Walt. Like, I feel like they play to the audience the same way. Like when a sequel does a lot of the same beats as the first movie, I feel like this would be a very similar setup show so that it fits within the parameters of the room. So, like, I think you'd be safe to try it at least the first time sitting in that seat and see how it goes. I like riding Rise of the Resistance on the left side. When you get up to Kylo Ren at the bridge, and he's like, how brave but ultimately foolish. And like he glances at the first car, but then he looks you right in the eye on that second car. So
Oh
I like to
yeah.
sit there, so he looks me right in the eye.
That full body whip.
Yeah.
That one, right?
But
Oh
ultimately
gosh.
foolish, like right into my face. And I'm like, oh yes, thank you.
Oh yeah. There's nothing as charismatic as Kylo Ren making eye contact with you through that mask.
He has to have the mask on, that's all I say.
So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm interested to see what they do with the lobby, because they have to make some adjustments to the lobby, right? This is not Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln anymore, and the
That's
entire
true.
lobby celebrates Lincoln. And I
Have
think it's been
you,
closed
of course you
off.
haven't, but I was going to say, have you seen the new Defunct Land documentary part one?
I have.
Um, you have actually watched that?
Okay, so I'm not done with it yet. It's been kind of a struggle for me to get through because it's a lot of information, and like I said earlier, my attention span is fried.
Right.
But I have like a quarter to go.
Oh, you're okay. So you're more than halfway done.
The where I think
Because
where I left off is the World's Fair, and like Lincoln like not really working the way that they wanted him to work.
okay, because it's very interesting the way that that ends, kind of teeing up that we're going to talk about the Walt animatronic next, because it feels, and I'm not like spoiling it, they don't actually talk about it. Like Kevin doesn't actually get into that yet, but it feels like they're setting up the fact that, because there was a little controversy when they announced this, that like Walt shouldn't be made into an animatronic. This is ghoulish. We have we're trying to reanimate the dead. And that conversation did happen leading up to the 1964-65 World's Fair with Lincoln.
Right, right. And people did not like it in the beginning.
Right. But then it became so normal and it went to Disneyland and we're so used to it now. And Kevin makes a point that like people for decades get to see Lincoln as an animatronic, which is something Disney has always done and has always been normal. And then when the Hall of Presidents got announced and we get to see all of the presidents, including living ones, animated as animatronics, no one questioned it because it had
Mm.
been like precedented. It's not unprecedented to make the presidents animatronics. It had already happened before, so now people are fine with it. So it's interesting that when they went to do Walt, all of a sudden the controversy is back. And if we like accept this Walt show, like it's totally fine and we get used to it, I think all bets are off for the future. We're gonna have animatronic everyone's.
I think that the controversy, though, like the tone was different this time around. I feel like this time it wasn't so much of a problem like, oh, you're bringing someone back from the dead and making them into an animatronic, as if it was with Lincoln. This time it was like, oh, this is someone's father, someone's grandpa. Like this is someone's like close relative, and these people are very much still alive, and you're making their close relative into a robot. And I feel like
I mean,
that was
Lincoln. Yeah, but the time span for bringing dead people back as animatronics is closing. Like Lincoln was 100 and something years ago, and now Walt is like 50, 60 years ago. We're getting to be closer and closer to like how close will it get? It's kind of like making movies about tragedies. Like we get a movie about
mm,
Titanic, 70 years later or whatever,
yeah.
and then we get like movies about something more recent. I don't even want to name specifics because it's still too recent, but it happens like now it's the
Yes.
year after something happens and like there's a tragedy and there's a movie about it within a year. So I wonder if animatronics will start being built closer and closer to the actual death of someone. And that like that's what we're normalizing now, and that's what I worry about. But at the same time, it's nice that Disneyland's getting an attraction.
Right.
Because otherwise it'd be a pretty light year.
Oof. I mean, yeah, because there's a lot of repeat sort of offerings. So this really is for me, and I think for everyone, it should be the headliner. It's the only new thing that we're getting.
Yeah.
Um, and it's very exciting. And I love an animatronic show. And Disneyland never gets animatronic shows. I can't remember the last time we got a new animatronic show. Really, when was it?
I mean, he did not to go back on it, but we did just get a hologram AI actor portrayed Walt at like D23 2 or 3
Oh
years ago, right?
yeah.
Remember that?
Oh
That was like a test
yes.
bed to see if people could handle a a reanimated Walt Disney. I think it's fine, by the way. I'm just meant like discussing it because it's an interesting topic of discussion. I think it's fine. This is the man who reanimated Lincoln, so he's getting what he deserves.
It's true.
Like, if it's good
so
enough for the
true.
gander, it's like it's fine. If it was fine for
true.
him, it should be fine for us.
Oh my gosh. I'm very interested to see the pacing of the show and just what the show is about, because when you're doing a show on Walt Disney, like, where do you start? And I mean, really, you could choose to have him at what age, and they chose to really make him at an older age.
Right. That's why
Right?
I wonder, is it going to be like One Man's Dream rehash of the same documentary style we've seen a billion times, where like it starts with him on a train and like he just lost his job with Oswald and he's got to come up with a new mouse and whatever. Like, do we do the same rigmarole that we always do, or do we take it from a new angle? Is this a pulls him up by his own bootstraps type of thing, or is it like an innovative changing the dynamic of the world and inventing it's in Disneyland, so maybe it's more of a Disneyland story, and then it ends in his office, like, and he's like, and we're going to take the success of Disneyland and we're going to turn it on its head and build something bigger and grander in Orlando. And then it's just like the curtain closes, like because that's where it ends. Yeah, like a screen comes down. It's like the Florida Project. The curtains close at that exact moment. And it's like, that's where our story ends.
The only thing that I'm worried about, and I don't want to speak this into existence, but I am worried, is the last couple animatronics that they've built do not work. And I'm talking about Bayou Adventure.
Yeah.
And it's a little different when like a Tiana or like a Lewis animatronic like is frozen and doesn't work, but it's very different when it's your Walt Disney animatronic is glitching or can't keep up. And I don't know. I don't know. Should I be worried? I don't know.
It's a more controlled environment. And also when they do a spotlight animatronic like this, like the shaman on the River Adventure, Navi River Adventure at Pandora, like a lot of attention has to go into it because it's the only animatronic. And at least in this case, you just close the whole attraction. Like, you don't run it with a broken Tiana. You don't run a broken Walt, because that would just be a video. Like, you'd have nothing. So... and I would hope that this one they put a lot of attention and care into.
I actually think that this animatronic will be fine, because from what I've been told, the reason why the newer animatronics are having a hard time keeping up is because the motors are getting too hot because they're continuously performing.
Right. That's what I mean by controlled environment. And he gets gaps, he gets breaks, he gets smoke breaks in between. He gets smoke breaks. Thing. He's inside air conditioning. He's got a lot going for him here. He gets to lean. Like, what other cast member gets to lean?
Oh gosh. So I think it'll be good. I'm very excited. The gleam in the eye is, I think we've talked about it before in a different episode, but I'm very interested to see like if that is going to be the mirror effect or if that's just going to be the glass over the eye.
Yeah.
Because those are two different effects.
Maybe both. Maybe we do. Well, they're going to put the lighting in just such a way that it captures it. Whatever they put in his eye, the lighting is what they're touting as. Because I mentioned it before. I watched the Country Bears musical Jamboree, and I'm looking at Max's head on the wall, and I'm like, his eye is gleaming from a reflection of light. Like, they had this technology, 40, 50 years ago. So, like, but it'll be interesting to see it on a human character.
I'm very interested. I'm very intrigued. We will see what happens. But May 16th, this bad boy opens. I have a full suspicion that he's already in there right now.
Oh yeah, no, he's in there. He's in there.
They're in there.
They got wires sticking out of him and everything. They got test joysticks and moving and programming. Yeah.
I had to work.
We need a behind the scenes picture.
I know. I had to work that theater once, and so I know how to toggle all the doors and all the curtains. So technically speaking, I could find my way in, but I'm just saying I won't do anything. I'll wait until May 16th, but I'm just saying I know how to get in that damn theater.
So May 16th is not just when that begins. That's the beginning of the 70th anniversary celebration.
Yeah, that's when everything begins. Yeah. Okay. Paint, all of it. I'm so excited. I have so many friends in paint.
For a whole year through summer 2026. Okay. I was wondering if it was an 18-month celebration like we got for the 50th.
I mean, it's not like they're doing anything crazy. Like, it might as well be. They just have to leave the decorations up.
Oh, well, they might. Ours is still painted pink, so
I think
Castle.
it just gets a little choppy with us because when they do an anniversary and they do the holiday overlay, it shakes things up a little bit because they have to find a way to like blend both of them together, which usually means that they have to make new decorations for
Like
the
doubled up
70th stuff.
versions.
Yeah, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to the castle and like when they put like the wreath in the middle, like they're gonna need that like medallion, that 70th medallion
Because
to
that's like really all that's on the castle is a little bit of bunting and a giant 70.
right. And then, what the Main Street decorations, which usually will get like the wreaths and whatnot, but now we're gonna have the banners everywhere. And I mean, I'm excited for the food offerings. I'm excited for the merch. Um, I'm not a big merch person, but I am a big food person. So
We haven't talked about we talked about it a lot when it was rumors. We talked about it after it was all announced, but do we have any new information on the rides that are being built? And are any of them started being built yet?
nothing,
No,
nothing
nothing's
has
closing. Nothing's
started.
announced to closed.
Nothing, zero. I think that there's been a little bit of like discourse of with the Cocoa Boat ride more than anything
Right.
else.
That was what I was going to ask. Like you were suggesting underneath the existing Pixar Pier stuff, squeezing it in a backstage area by the coaster or something.
Yes, but
And
people have
is that not
been.
the case anymore?
I
Have we
don't
changed
know.
our opinion? Have you changed your opinion?
I have not changed my opinion, but it seems like everyone else has changed their opinion. And what everyone else is thinking is that it'll be a full takeover of the. I know you've never been to the park, but like do you know like the pizza pasta area by the Silly Symphony swings?
N- no, the Inside Out.
Yes. Next to it. Silly Symphony's on the other side, and then
Oh,
Emotional
okay,
is on the other side. But yeah, I've been
okay.
hearing some people saying that they think it's going to go where the giant pizza pasta areas, which it's a giant area.
So it's
Um,
still Pixar Pier.
it technically, as of right now, it's not Pixar Pier, but I think they're going to do that like that
It would
Avengers
extend
Campus
Pixar
thing
Pier. Yeah.
where they extend
Okay.
it and they just gulp up some more land. But then if they
Right.
do
But it would
that,
still
then
be
I don't know.
connected to it. It would still have the entrance. It would still be labeled as Pixar Pier. Okay.
I just don't see them doing that because what you're going to have to do is what are you going to do with everything across the street? And it's the same thing as far as Universal goes. It's like, okay, you're going to have Fast and the
Fast and
Furious,
Furious.
but
Yeah.
then it's in Springfield. Like it's literally in
Don't worry.
Springfield.
Springfield won't be there very long.
Right. Oof. That's a
So
whole other
I don't think we have
topic.
to worry about that. Well, then, okay. My only question and the only thing I actually care about is that mean Avatar? Do we still think that's taking over
Oh
the
yeah.
Hollywood section?
1,000,000%, like
Okay.
100%. And I think that like for Avatar, just like Galaxy's Edge, there is so much before we even get to thinking about this land being built. There is so much restructuring of the resort that needs to happen. And it happened kind of lightly with Runaway Railway. I mean, they didn't have to do much. They just had to sort of move a
It
lot of
was
the backstage infrastructure,
yeah.
a lot of like the N19 parade building, yada, yada. But for Galaxy's Edge, a lot had to happen, right? Like before we saw Galaxy's Edge being built, we had to move Circle D. We had to move horticulture. We had to move so many things. A lot of the sign shops that were back there, and the petting zoos, and we had to rehome the animals, and then we had to
Right.
reconfigure the river. And there was a lot of that had to happen first before anything got built. And when it comes to Pandora or whatever they're building, um, they are going to have to completely restructure not only the backstage spaces but also the bus and shuttle drop off
Right.
for
Right.
that entire side of the resort, which is how half of the crowds get into the resort. All of the neighboring Disney hotels, that is their only way to get into the park. So it's a lot of work. So
In the short term, the red car trolley closed to as a first domino for getting the Marvel expansion in there, the Avengers campus expansion.
mhm.
Because so that's closed now, right? So that
No. Oh, is it? No, I think
yeah.
we have January. What was the date? I thought it was January something.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe by the time this comes out, it'll be
Oh
closed.
no. I'm going later today. Maybe I'll write it. But
Yeah, you might need to because it's you got till February 8th.
okay, February 8th.
Okay. I was
But
off by a month.
they did announce that they're going to park one and just leave it open to sit in.
So you still get photo ops. But that's
Still get photo
I
ops.
would say Marvel's the Avengers Campus expansion is already got the ball rolling, sorta. Like that has to
What? Yeah.
close so they can close the trolley depot back there and start building a ride. So something's
So I guess
happening at least.
Marvel's first, really.
Oh no, well, that would make sense since the land's been missing its e-ticket for all these years.
Right. Right.
It's got Guardians. It's got Guardians. I kid. It's got Guardians. It's a decent land.
I think I think Pandora's gonna be I think it's really far out. I think it's
So
really
weird because
far out.
like there'll be a third movie, but assuming James Cameron doesn't push it back another year, there will be a third movie already out, and they're basing
But
it mostly on the second movie.
hey, you know what I think is actually going to push Pandora along is going to be your Monsters Inc. attraction. I think if anything, that is
Oh yeah,
your
we're getting your animatronics for sure. Well, we're getting your limited motion figures for sure.
You are for sure getting our figures, and I think that the
Yeah.
only thing that's going to push Pandora along is the fact that they need to shut that ride down
Yeah.
so they can send everything to Florida. So really,
Yeah.
you guys, the pacing of your land is going to sort of dictate how our
Well,
land closes.
Here's the funny thing, though. The first thing to open that's happening at Walt Disney World is going to be Tropical Americas, which opens in
Right.
2027. And our dinosaur ride doesn't even close until 2026.
Thank goodness.
So when do you think Muppets closes for Monstropolis if we're not even closing the first thing that we're building until 2026? So your Monsters Inc. ride may be around for another year and a half.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like
That's
this
a
is
good point.
the speed at which this is happening is always like bewildering to me. Like the first thing that's opening out of all the new stuff, and I'm like 2027, that's so soon, and the ride doesn't even close till next year. We still have a whole year of Dinosaur.
And Dinosaur is going to be a very quick turnaround. Like,
I would assume so. I like Tiana, I guess. Like they'll have a year to do it.
yeah, but it seems like they have way more work to do because you guys are getting a completely different facade. I mean, it's a whole temple ruin.
That's just a facade. You could build that off site and just assemble it in like Legos in front of the building. Yeah, that's fine. And the ride system's already built and the ride vehicles just need a repaint. Like it shouldn't be too hard. But at the same time, I didn't think we'd have a whole year of Dinosaur. I've already said my goodbyes. Like,
I'm so happy. I'm so excited. But Chester and Hester's is like for sure going down.
Oh no, yeah, no, they're gone next week. They're gone
Next week?
A week from tomorrow. They're gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll actually be there next Monday to do my second vlog to look at work walls because that to me is the most exciting thing. I haven't seen work walls around a major area at Disney World in a while since like for a new build. Like Tiana's one thing, but like we're getting a whole new ride over there. I'm pretty excited.
Sorry, I know we should be wrapping things up, but really quick, I never asked you about the whole Christmas Dino Land Santa meet and greet situation. Like, how was that?
Have you seen the picture? I had a very serious chat. I had a very serious conversation with Santa. I don't think I realized when I was talking with Santa, and we talked for a very long time. I was first in line, and I'm like looking at these other children, and they're like losing their patience. And I'm like, Santa, I love you, but maybe we should let these kids go next. Like, but no, we had to talk.
Oh my god!
I was saying we were talking about the rug, the Dino Institute rug, which is amazing.
Obsessed.
And I was like, it's a shame they would do all this and set all this up and make this amazing rug just for you to only meet here once before they tear all this down. And he's like, did you not hear the good news? I'll be back again next Christmas, meeting right here in Dino Land USA. And I was like, really? I thought this was all being torn down. And Santa's like, no, Dinosaur will remain open till 2026. And I'm like, this is great news. But to me, that means Restaurantosaurus is remaining until 2026 also, because he needs somewhere to meet, and he's meeting at the back porch of this restaurant. So that's really the headline here. Forget Dinosaur. Restaurantosaurus lives for another year. Because they're building the Encanto ride. They can tear down the boneyard and build the carousel. But apparently the retheme for the restaurant and the retheme for the ride doesn't start until a year from now.
Which either means that they can switch that restaurant very, very quick to open with Encanto, or it doesn't open with Encanto and it opens later with Dinosaur.
I think if it's 2027, and let's say it's January, like this ride, like the existing Chester and Hester's. Let's say they close all of it in January, and they don't need to open it for another whole year. That gives them a year to redo the restaurant. That's not bad.
Yeah, and I think
a
it's
year
a lot of work.
a year for a redo is because they're keeping if you look at the art, they're keeping all the structures intact. They're just redecorating, retheming. So I don't think it's gonna, like, they'll re-roof it to have the mission style Spanish roof, but like the shape of it, the Restaurantosaurus, looks exactly the same. But yeah, no, that's good news for me. I get more kids nuggets. and I like the theming in Restaurantosaurus the most out of everything in Dinoland.
I know. I was I was shocked, literally shocked that there's so much mid-century in there. And I'm gonna need to have you take me through there to show me all the little nooks and crannies next time I'm in.
Yeah, I've been visiting every single time I go and spending like an hour in there just taking pictures and video because it's beautiful. So that's the real headline to me, and it's not confirmed or anything. But he's all knowing. So
I love it.
I would guess the Boneyard probably closes before Dinosaur and Restaurantosaurus, and they keep the whole right side of the land and the pathway on the right open, and then the left side closes. Starting next week.
And have you seen anything in regards to Test Track? Has there been any movement over there, or is it just kind of looking the same?
Well, they're rebuilding the whole exterior awning and stuff. Like, there's action happening. It's supposed to open. When does it open?
In a couple months, no?
Yeah, the 6 months, I think. I think we got 6 months still. 5.5.
Right.
When we saw that little video, there was a little behind the scenes video, and that was probably shot several months earlier, where they're redoing the interior. It looked like they were finally installing.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's a little Imagineering video where they're showing the install for the interior. So they've already ripped everything out.
Oh, you're gonna have to send that to me at some point.
I'll try to find it. I think it was on the Insta for Disney Parks.
Oh, I need to look into that. I mean, that should be exciting too. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. We're getting more interesting stuff here than you are for your 70th.
All right, settle down, little girl.
Settle down. You get Walt. You get Walt. It's okay.
What a good episode.
Yeah, it was nice to catch up too. We haven't talked in a while.
I know.
Other than the random memes we send one another all day.
I'm like, we actually do text almost every single day. We just send each other I'm just like, send me more pictures of Haley. That's all I want to see.
I text you more than I do my wife, so. Anyway, thanks y'all for listening. And we'll try not to wait 3 months till we talk again, but goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.